In 2013, one of the largest retail companies in the US, Target, experienced a massive data breach which caused long-term reputational damage as well as financial losses to the company. My name is Marvelous Amos, and this is my case study analysis on the 2013 Target breach. Hey guys, I am Marvelous Amos. I like to go by the name The Oracle, and I help individuals navigate the complexities of digital security through mentorships. I'm on my way to becoming a security analyst. This video is one of my attempts at improving my digital footprint and sharing the information I have learned about cybersecurity and the information I will constantly learn about cybersecurity with you all, my audience. After coming from a software engineering background, during that conference, I came to understand the importance of securing and protecting organizations as well as applications which we build as software engineers. And this piqued my interest, which is why I began learning ever since 2023 up to this point. And I felt it necessary to document my learnings as I go further. What I'm going to document today, or what I'm going to share with you, is one of the key functions of a security analyst, which is performing case study analysis. As a cybersecurity specialist, you are in charge of ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. And you do this by protecting networks, people, devices, and data from unauthorized access. One of the ways you do this is, as a security analyst, is through research. Now, what does this entail? Understanding threats or vulnerabilities in a system, understanding the attack surface area of a system, and then identifying ways to mitigate the threats that could attack these vulnerabilities. And one good way to do this as a security analyst is understanding and researching upon previously or past security incidents, getting to understand them, understand the scope of the attack, understanding the frameworks or the policies that govern the organization that was attacked, understanding the attack surface area and how that attack surface area was breached, or the vulnerabilities that were used to leverage an attack on that organization. The case study analysis which I reviewed was the attack on Target. Target is one of the largest retail companies in the US, and it experienced a massive data breach that affected over 40 million customers. And it's said that the attackers gained access to the company's network through a third-party vendor. Now, the focus of this case study analysis was to determine how the attackers gained initial access to the network, to Target's network, what this attack suggested or suggests about the importance of third-party vendor security, and what measures could have been taken by Target to detect and prevent the installation of the malware on their point of sale system, their POS system. I eventually analyzed the potential long-term consequences of this data breach on the Target's brand, reputation, and customer trust. So let's see my analysis. Now, from the first question, which talks about how the attackers gained initial access to Target's network. From my research, I found that the attackers gained initial access to this organization's network through a third-party vendor named Fazio Mechanical Services, who provided HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning services to Target. Target being a marketplace, it does require such services. Now, the attackers used stolen credentials from this vendor to access Target's market. Now, going to the second question, I found that there were several measures which Target could have used to detect and prevent the installation of this malware on their POS system, even if it was done through a third-party vendor. These measures include network segregation, which basically means that a network should not be wholly bound, right? It's like having multi layers in a house. Okay, you have if you have a house, but within the house you have the parlor, you have the kitchen, you have the bedrooms. Now this is segregation of space. Everyone now has a space. The parents have their room, the children have their room. There's the kitchen, there's the resting area, there's the dining. All these are instances of segregation. But now for network segregation, there could have been instances where the network is divided. All right, layers of protection are built within the network to segment it, so that all the networks, regardless of whether they should be linked or not, they are layers of protection that segments each of them from another, so that a chain reaction does not occur when an attack goes through the network. So network segmentation could have been one of the ways. Another could have been multi-factor authentication. This example is relatively familiar to most of us who use WhatsApp, where you don't just come in, you also put a password, or Facebook, or any other social media application. These are examples of multi-factor authentication, which would have prevented these attackers from using the initial credentials they gained from the third-party vendors to access the network. Another could have been the use of intrusion detection and prevention systems. Now, using this in collaboration with security incident and event management tools could have enabled target to detect the intrusion into their network quickly and mitigate it. Another thing that would come with the use of this tool would be proper training of staff on the use of these tools, so that they will be a security, preferably a security specialist or a security analyst, constantly monitoring the network for these intrusions. Then came the discourse on the long-term consequences to the company's brand reputation. Now you can imagine a company or a large retail organization such as Target, which houses so many people's data in the US, and considering the data policies and importance of securing people's PPI. PPI is basically personal identifiable information. You can imagine what happens when so many people's data, approximately 40 million people's data, were lost due to this negligence. It would have definitely caused some form of consequence, and they would have had to face a lot of burdens that came with allowing that kind of threats into their system. Most of these would have been a loss of customers' trust, because definitely I would have to think twice when giving information to an organization that would lose it in such a large scale. Then came financial impact, because at some point, after there's this adage that says once bitten, twice shy. So after experiencing such an event, not only would you lose data not only will you lose finance due to the loss of those information and the usage that these attackers would have used that information for, you would also lose finance due to being sued, or their eventual operation of increasing their security outreach, increasing their network security, which costs a lot of money. Then came reputational damage, of course, and as we have already said, on account of financial impact, long-term security investments. So these are the consequences I figured Target faced after that attack. Now, I initially skipped the second question, which was, what does this suggest about the importance of third-party vendor security? Now, I skipped that and brought it to the last because I feel that this is an important topic to consider. Now, I'll relate this not just to a large organization such as Target, but also we as individuals, regular or common men, like I always like to say. Now, taking the example of a large organization like Target, regardless of the business they are doing, key notes, one thing to note during this attack is that Target's network itself was secure. However, the attackers gained access to this network through a third-party vendor, which is to say that regardless of how secure your network is, if the people you are collaborating with have weaknesses or flaws within their own systems, then you are liable to being attacked. Because collaboration basically increases your attack surface area. Granting access to certain individuals that are necessary to your operation or to the operation of your business, as essential as that is, it still increases your attack surface area, which is why it is important to ensure that the businesses you are associating with follow the same principles that you follow. If you follow a robust security policy, or you enforce a robust security policies within your organization, it is important that when collaborating with third-party vendors, you scrutinize their security measures and ensure that they practice similar robust security measures. The tools they are using, are they up to date? Are they using the best security practices? Their operations, how secure is that? Do they follow security frameworks, and do they implement security controls? These are things that need to be considered when considering partnering with third-party services, so as to protect your own organization regardless of how secure it is. So these are the questions that came from my case study analysis, and I thought to share it out with you. This has been, should I call it vlog 1? Nah, let's not number it. But this has been my review on the case study analysis of the Target attack in 2013. I am Marvelous, the Oracle, and I will see you next time.